Welcome. Welcome to the Montessori philosophy. In this lesson, we'll be talking about the three pillars of the Montessori method. My goal for you in this lesson is to learn what makes the Montessori method tick. Montessori philosophy, the three pillars. What is a pillar? A pillar is a bedrock. It is the main frame and the cornerstone of a building or a construction. If you want your school, your family, and your classroom to stand firmly, take these three pillars of the Montessori method seriously and you will reach your goal. So, what are the three pillars of Montessori? It's simply this. The three pillars are 1, the child, 2, the teacher, and 3, the environment. These are the mainstay, and once you get this right, you will be able to run a proper Montessori environment, a proper Montessori setting that helps you to achieve your goal for the children. So let's take these a step at a time. Who is the Montessori child? That's the first thing we need to consider. Now, the core idea to remember about the child is this. The child is a psychic embryo with an absorbent mind. He goes through sensitive periods and gets normalized to learn efficiently. Some of these ideas, some of these concepts we already know, some are new to us. In the course of this endeavor, so to speak, in the course of this training and subsequent trainings attached to this, you will learn specifically what we mean by the psychic embryo. You will know how important the absorbent mind is. You will be able to pinpoint the sensitive periods that a child undergoes, and then you will see the child normalize. Normalization is a term that is used in the Montessori setting. It doesn't mean to be normal. So let's just put that out there. But we will go through this in many different stages to help us to understand what this means. Okay, so the child. The important thing is to understand the child. This is so important. If we leave this behind and do not take cognizance of the importance of knowing the child, we will not be able to run a proper Montessori setting. So, who is the child? Who is the Montessori child? The child is the underpinning factor in the three pillars. Without understanding the child, not much will be achieved. We are talking about educating a child efficiently and effectively. And if you are going to do that, you must know the child. Maria Montessori insisted on observing the child and was able to discover the child and the secrets of childhood. If we want to educate our children for life, we need to understand these things. What did she discover? What is really the secret of childhood? When you discover this and gain the keys of a wholesome way of educating the child, you will know how to prepare the child for life. Remember that the child has an inner teacher. So we must respect the child. We must remember that inner teacher and believe that the child will learn and is learning. The child is constructing himself. We respect the child. We do not make the child to become a lower being who must be controlled by us because they don't know any better. It's not that they're wise or anything. We're not saying that the child is full of wisdom, but we're saying that God has enabled the child with an inner teacher so that that teacher helps the child to know at what step, what moment in life they need to learn some specific things. And we must respect that because when we who do not know what is within the child, what the inner teacher is telling the child to do, when we start controlling that child and telling them, you need to learn ABC, you need to learn 1, 2, 3, this is the time for you to learn addition, we have this one size fits all mentality, and then the inner child is thrown away, which does not help the child to learn and prepare for life effectively and efficiently. The child between 0 to 6 is developing their mental faculties. He absorbs information from the environment, experiences sensitive periods, and gets normalized. So we're talking about what is going on within this child. You know, when the child was in the womb of their mom, really the child was growing physically. But once the child comes out into the world, he has another form of embryo, which is the mental embryo, which is now developing. And that mental embryo goes through different stages, absorbing information from the environment, the inner teacher pushing him to the sensitive period, and then he finally gets normalized to learn what he needs to learn and continues to get normalized for life. That is your Montessori child. Now let's move on. What are the characteristics of the Montessori teacher? Remember, the Montessori teacher is the second pillar. We talked about the first pillar, which is the child, and now we're moving on to the teacher. The teacher has become a director of the spontaneous work of the children. She is not a passive force, but a silent presence. So she's silent, but she's present. She's not passive. She has her duties to perform. She is the director of the spontaneous work of the children. The children must work. That is what needs to happen. Work. The teacher, to do all these things, must prepare himself or herself. Be the prepared adult. How do you prepare? What do you need to do? You need to know yourself first. You need to be able to control yourself. We need emotional intelligence in large doses to be a Montessori teacher, to be a teacher, to be a parent. We need emotional intelligence to do our jobs well so that we can effectively and efficiently educate our children. The next stage that we require as teachers is to definitely know the child. Learn everything that you can about the age group you are working with. In this instance, we're talking about the 3 to 6 year old child. So we are going to delve into this in detail in order for us to know exactly who this child is. Without the right knowledge of the 3 to 6 year old child or the 0 to 6 year old child, so to speak, because we're going to talk a little bit about the 0 to 3 year old. Without specific knowledge, it will be impossible to do the right thing. Remember, I keep repeating this. We want children to learn effectively. We want to do it efficiently. And we need the knowledge about the child in order to be able to achieve this. You cannot treat a 3 year old the same way you would an 8 year old or vice versa and expect to get good results. It won't happen. We need to be patient. We need to be kind, but we must also be firm and learn to discipline without causing damage to the spirit of the child. So we're going to talk a lot about disciplining the child because a lot of us have the erroneous idea that we need to be strict, we need to punish them, we need to cane them, we need to beat them in order to get them to be obedient and do as they're told. We will learn another method. Classroom management is a must. We must learn about the child, though, to create an enabling environment, and then we will be on our way to being the prepared adult we need to be. You are providing an individual educational plan and not one size fits all system. So it's not a matter of putting the children together and saying, today we're going to do this today. No, it's an individual learning plan because each child is different. This is so important if we are going to run a Montessori environment. Let's move on. So, the third pillar. What does a Montessori environment look like? We're not really talking about just the physical. The environment includes more than the surroundings and inanimate objects that it contains. Also, the teacher and the atmosphere all interact with the child to create a Montessori prepared environment. So we need everything, even the spiritual aspects, the emotional, the social aspects of the environment must be right. So a teacher who comes into the classroom and is bothered and angry about something is not going to be able to get the environment prepared, because no matter how well and ordered the materials in the environment are, if the teacher herself is not in the right frame of mind, then the environment is not prepared. So take note. The environment must be prepared by us. That is our work. Okay, so the environment is prepared to meet the needs of the child. It will therefore never be the same in each setting. What are some of the features we find in the Montessori environment? It should be beautiful. The furniture as well as the materials are child-sized. Everything is orderly. It has a place. Everything has a place. It's in its place, in the right place. Everything is clean. Everything is neatly placed. The materials that we use in the Montessori environment are self-correcting didactic materials. We also engage in vertical grouping instead of horizontal grouping. What does this mean? Simply put, what you are doing is you have the 3 to 6 year olds, for example, in the same classroom. You have the 6 to 9 year olds, and then the 9 year olds to 12 year olds in the same classroom. This is what we call vertical grouping. And it's done because we need that social interaction between the children that helps them to learn. We are going to go through this because I know it is a sticking point. Even the state government that runs a traditional setting finds it difficult to approve a Montessori school that is running vertical groupings, because what they understand and see as right are the horizontal groupings. And there is a good reason for doing the horizontal groupings, but there is even a better reason for doing the vertical groupings. And I've seen it over and over again work miracles for the children. Okay, the children should love to be at school. They should not be running away from school or be happy when their parents say, oh, you're not going to school today, and they know there is school. Mostly I find children crying and saying they want to go to school when that happens. The environment is a learning center, and children love to learn. It is a home away from home for the child, and therefore they want to be at home. Their special home is the environment, their special home. The environment should include indoor and outdoor areas. So it's not just about the nicely placed Montessori materials in the classroom, but you must have outdoor areas where the children can go out and play, where the children can learn. To learn is a continual thing. And so we must learn to continually prepare the environment for the child, not just for the term, not just for the week, but for every single day, the environment should be prepared. So we know that our child needs a prepared environment and a prepared teacher to help them get to where they need to get to. We know that our teacher must know the child and prepare the environment. The teacher is the link between those two. We must daily prepare our environment so that the child can reach their goals. These are the 3-pillar method that we use in the Montessori environment to get the very best. So, this is your lesson for today. Please download your resource material book 2, go through it, and I think it's 2.1 this time around. Go through it and do the task at the end of the resource book. Have a wonderful time and see you in the next lesson. Bye.